everyone, welcome back to Youth Korner Podcast Jeunesse. I'm Emma, your host, and today we are sitting down with a LRHS student, Renaud, and we're going to have a little conversation about just what it's like being a Sec 2 student, okay? So welcome. Can I get you to tell us what year you're in, what school you go to, and just your interests in general?
I'm Renaud. I go to LRHS, and I'm in secondary too.
Awesome.
As stated like a couple seconds ago.
That's great. No, hey, like we said, it's a circular conversation.
I'm pretty interested in stuff like creating video games and stuff and programming.
That's awesome. So we're definitely going to talk about that because I am also into video games. So I will have lots of questions for you both on and off camera. So we got to be in touch because you are in the CCQ class with Miss Stites at LRHS this year. Is that correct?
Yep.
Awesome. So you guys have been together in that class for a little while now. What's one of the more interesting things that you've learned in CCQ?
Probably all the biases, like the anchor bias, etc., etc.
Oh, okay. What's the anchor bias? I don't think I've heard of that one.
The anchor bias is let's say you see something priced at $4,000, and then you see that same thing in another store priced at $6,000, but at a discount that leads it to $4,000. Since you're stuck on the original $6,000, you think that this thing for the same price is a much better deal than the original thing.
Right. Oh, I didn't know that had a name. I didn't know that fell under biases as well. Very interesting. When about did you learn that? Is that a recent thing or is that from earlier this year?
A couple weeks ago.
Okay, so you guys are really getting into the heavy stuff already at Sec 2. That's awesome. What else? What other things do you guys do in the CCQ program?
We usually do things like learning about what's for our future, etc., etc.
Okay, awesome. So when we're talking about learning about our future or preparing for our future, what kind of things were you discussing or that you took away from it personally?
I think that might be in the future a game developer and stuff and a game designer and a programmer.
That's really cool. That's a lot of tech stuff that I love playing the games, but when I watch them happening, I don't know how this happens. So you're going into this, you want to go into the side of things that makes life enjoyable for the rest of us as well who enjoy games. What was it in CCQ that really got you thinking about that more? I know that you talk about biases and you talk about future planning and things like that. What was it that stuck out to you that made you think this could be something I want to do later?
The fact that I pretty much know how to program in some coding languages.
That's awesome. What coding languages do you do? Lua. Remind me which one that is. I'm not familiar with that one.
Lua is the one that's known to be the easiest coding language to learn.
Okay.
Other than just straight up block code.
And when did you learn that one?
I learned that a couple of years ago.
Okay, so you were pretty young when you learned that. Was it during or before high school?
Before high school.
Before high school. Wow.
I'm still learning
crazy.
it.
That's great. I could never. That's wild. And it really, do you find that it really is its own language as well too? There's a communication aspect to it that maybe people don't give it credit for?
Not exactly, because
No?
I don't think that connect function blah 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 could be a conversation starter.
Well, unless you're having the conversation with the computer itself too.
Yeah.
But that's so fascinating that kind of thing comes up in CCQ as well too. So you mentioned beforehand as well that you are part of the video gaming club at LRHS too, right?
Yeah.
Did I get that? I said that right, didn't I?
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. So what kind of things do you guys do in that club? How many of you are in there? Do you know?
I don't exactly know, but what we do is that we just hang out, play Xbox, play Wii Sports on the Wii, which is the best video game ever made.
I agree. First of all, I agree. That's awesome. Oh man, I have such fond memories of that game too. Well, that's really cool though. I mean, do you guys do that over typically over lunch, I'm guessing?
Yeah, it's during lunch.
Okay, very nice. Do you guys eat lunch in there together or do you eat beforehand and then you go in afterwards?
We eat lunch in there.
Nice. Okay, so it's kind of giving you a social element too, that you guys get to hang out in your own environment as well, not just during class and in the hallways as well. I think that's a pretty important thing to have as well too. That was definitely not something that existed when I was in high school as well. Our clubs were much more cut and dry, the kind of things that you would expect a high school to have in terms of clubs. But, I'm learning more and more about the different clubs that LRHS has now, like video game club. You also mentioned that you kind of manage the fantasy gaming club too, right?
I don't manage. I just spectate what
spectate,
the
okay.
others people do.
Okay, and what's the craziest thing that you've spectated? What's the craziest thing that's happened during a campaign that left you thinking, what just happened?
The fact that this kid named Trevor decided that like they should hunt for the biggest fish in the sea.
Did they find it? Did they catch it?
Yeah, except it has like 3 trillion HP or something.
Oh god. Did they succeed, or did they have to backtrack a little
Obviously, they did succeed.
Wow. When was that recently, or was that at the beginning of the
that
year?
was recently.
That was recently. Okay, wow. Yeah, see that I love hearing that, because again, like that's the kind of thing where if I had been your age experiencing that, and a lot of people from my generation too, if we had gotten to experience that sort of thing, it would have opened up so many different artistic doors for us as well, because there is a lot of creativity behind gaming and fantasy gaming as well. You got to be fast with it sometimes too, especially if you're hunting the biggest fish in the sea, as you said as well, and it's like way higher level than anyone else. So I guess what that leads me to ask you now too is, how did they take down that fish? Like, was there a lot of teamwork involved, or was this one person just really hoping for the best?
It was a whole team in the campaign who went to hunt the fish, except they did like basic attacks that did like 2 damage, and they still haven't spotted the fish yet.
Oh my gosh. How long did it take for them to actually get it? Was it done in one session, or was this like a multi-lunch hour thing?
After one turn, they decided to stop fighting a fish because, of course, it would take too long.
Probably a good idea. Probably a good idea. So you said that you're a spectator right now. Do you have any aspirations to actually start playing as well?
I want to play, actually.
Yeah? Do you have any ideas of like what kind of campaign you would want to be playing in?
Like, probably just some basic campaign, because I've never played D&D before.
I haven't either, actually. I know about it, but I have not played it before. So what kind of character would you want to play with it?
Probably a skeleton.
Oh, interesting. Why a skeleton?
Because I really like Sans the skeleton from Undertale.
Perfect. That's the only answer that anyone would need. That's great, though. See, like, what kind of inspiration are other people taking for their characters, too, that you've seen?
I don't really know, because I've only spectated like 2 or 3 sessions.
Okay. Well, that's something I might have to ask you about that later too as well. Next time we get to chat, I want to know about whose inspiration or where you think people are taking inspiration for their characters as well. So that's 2 clubs. Is it just those 2 clubs that you're part of at the school, or are there more of them?
That's just the 2 parts.
Okay.
The 2 clubs I'm part of.
So if, hypothetically speaking, if there were to be other clubs coming into the mix, what kind of thing would you want to see?
Probably like a programming club.
A programming club? Okay. What kind of things would you, like, other than programming, what kind of things do you think people would want to be learning out of that? What skills do you think they'd want to take away?
Probably like game design and stuff, because like it's pretty complicated to learn game designing and try to like balance everything to be perfect.
Yeah. What makes the balance difficult, do you find?
It's that it's never like perfect to balance something.
Yeah.
You can make it like a very like small difference, but you can never like not have a difference.
Okay, that definitely makes sense. And you can always, it's difficult to make it seamless as well too. What games have you played where you found that it was as close to that perfect or that perfect meld and that perfect balance as possible?
I think something like let me think.
Take your time.
I've played a lot of games, so this might take a bit.
We can circle back to it later if you'd prefer.
Yeah, we could.
Perfect. So, Renaud, going forward, you're halfway through Sec 2 right now. What have been some of the best parts of being in Sec 2, but some of the more challenging aspects of it too?
Probably the most challenging aspects has to be like learning the new math stuff, even though I'm really good at math and I love math.
Yeah. What about the best parts?
The best parts, probably science.
Ooh, okay. What are you learning in science right now?
Currently, we're learning about space and science.
Ooh, okay. What's the best thing that you've learned so far?
That comets, their trail doesn't like follow behind them. They're actually like blasting away from the sun.
Ooh, okay. I did not know that. Interesting. So, hardest parts are math, best parts are science. When you're learning about math too, like how does it, what would, if you had the opportunity to warn your Sec 1 self about Sec 2 math, what would you warn him about?
Circles.
Circles. And specifically, what about just in general, or how to make them?
Specifically, all the amount of times you have to use pi for circles.
Oh, yes, that would do it. That one would mess me up a little bit as well. Anything else? When you say like math is the more difficult side of things of being in Sec 2 as well, was that right from the beginning as well? Like, did you notice immediately that this is very different from Sec 1, or do you find that it was more of a gradual change?
I feel like it was like a nice difficulty curve.
Okay, so it challenged you a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. And with science too, how did the science courses change between Sec 1 and Sec 2?
I feel like the courses in Sec 2 for science, they're like much more interesting than Sec 1.
Okay, how so?
Like Sec 1 was more basic stuff like cells, etc.
Mm-hmm.
While with Sec 2 we learned about like the periodic table and stuff.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of in Sec 1, it's like you're learning the basics, and then in Sec 2 you're starting to learn how to apply them a little bit more. Okay. What do you want to, you're I guess a little more than halfway through Sec 2 at this point too. So next up is Sec 3. What would you like to see in your classes, and what kind of things do you hope to learn about in your science courses in Sec 3?
Probably like more like advanced things like how physics work.
Okay. What is it about physics that interests you?
It's the fact that like we've always experienced physics like every single millisecond basically of our lives.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's within human memory that we've actually started putting words to it as well too. So physics, what else? What other things would interest you to learn about later on?
The history of science, because I love history.
Oh, okay. So history of science, what historical period? Are we talking like ancient science, or are we talking more recent science?
Like science from the Renaissance all the way to like the early modern period.
Okay. That's an interesting topic as well too, because you can also start to see how science is changing as well, and how things that were so certain to be true at one point in time are suddenly not true at all anymore. So I definitely hope that you get to see that in Sec 3 too. And if I remember correctly, that was about when I started learning about, historical science as well. When you say you love history as well, is that just for science, or is that for everything?
For everything.
For everything. Okay, so what realms of history do you really like learning about?
The Roman ages.
The Roman ages, okay. And the Roman ages are that's a long period of time. Like, is there something specific in there that you really enjoy?
The mythology.
Ooh, good choice. I did my university degree in Greek mythology, so it's not quite the same, but it's getting there.
It's pretty similar. What
is it about Roman mythology that really speaks to you?
It's the fact that, like, all the gods are, like, really cool and really underrated.
Okay, give me names. Who would you include in that list?
Like, Zeus.
Okay, so Zeus... Is Zeus the Greek one or the German one? The Greek one or the Roman one?
I forgot this Roman name, but it's the Greek, basically.
Okay. I think it's Jupiter.
Yeah, it's Jupiter,
if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, somebody in the comments, please tell me if I'm wrong, but I think it's Jupiter. So what is it about Jupiter? Like, what's he the god of, and why is he so interesting to you?
Jupiter is the god of thunder, and he's, like, the god of all the Roman gods.
Okay.
Which makes him pretty interesting because, like, he's pretty unique compared to most gods.
Well, and he's also the father of several of the other gods too, as well. So that's kind of it's a family tree situation as well. Which do you read the mythology a fair bit as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your favorite myth that has to do with Jupiter/Zeus?
My favorite myth is probably the Percy Jackson thingy.
I agree completely. Okay, did you read the books or watch the shows?
I've watched the movie Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief.
Oh, very nice. Have you gotten the chance to start the show yet on Disney Plus?
Nope.
Not quite. I think you should. I think you would really enjoy it based off of what you've told me. But I agree. It's a very interesting thing to talk about as well, especially with somebody your age, because that is a realm of study that a lot of people get really interested in, but they all go in different directions with it. You know, you remember it forever. You will always remember that you were really fascinated by Jupiter/Zeus, you know, even when you're much older as well. But the reasons that you grow, or different people grow interested in these things, changes over time as well. Give me another one. What's another god that you find really interesting?
Well, I find Neptune to be pretty interesting.
Okay. What is it about Neptune that you find so interesting?
It's the fact that he's the god of water, and I think water's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree completely. So Neptune, is he like all water, or is it just oceans or just lakes?
He's the guy who pretty much controls like all the waves,
Wow.
and I think the rainfall.
Okay. So would you say, is it Neptune or Jupiter that's more powerful?
Jupiter, of course, because he's like the father of all
That's
gods.
that's probably the right answer. If they still exist somehow, that was probably the correct answer. You've appeased some god at this point. So do you learn about this kind of stuff in school as well, or is this really just something that you tend to do on your own time?
Roman mythology is something we've learned during the Roman and the Greek part of our history class.
Okay. When was that, in Sec 1 or in Sec 2?
Sec 2.
Sec 2. And was that like beginning of the year or closer to now?
Like close to the Christmas break.
Okay. Okay. So an exciting time to be learning about something like that too, because it means you're going to be thinking about it the whole time over the holidays as well. Were you interested in this stuff before you started learning it in class, or was it really something you started learning while you were in school?
I knew nothing about the Roman ages and the Greek ages until the history class.
Okay. Other than the gods, what else did you learn in that class?
I've learned that like the Romans were pretty violent back then.
Yes, they were. What was it like? Do you remember learning why they were that way?
The gladiator stuff.
Yeah, the gladiator stuff for sure. The Colosseum, that will stick with you as well. But you're right. So is that the kind of thing that you would want to learn more of later on in high school, or is it more something that, you know, you'd rather start learning about it on your own time?
Probably something I like to learn on my own time.
Okay. And how do you go about learning these things? Like if you're just on your own and you think, I've got this question about Roman history, where do you go to find answers for it?
I probably just Google search it and pray for the best.
Pray for the best. Well, there's a certain element of that for sure. But yeah, okay. So it's very handy having that tool as well too, and to have had that basis in school and then to be able to go and research it later on your own. That's important, and that's also something you guys learn a little bit in CCQ too, isn't it? You start learning how to find what's the word I'm looking for? Accurate information.
Yeah.
You start learning how to research things properly instead of just taking the first thing that you find as well. Have you guys started doing a lot of that yet?
Not really.
Not really? Okay. What is in terms of research as well, if we're looking at it from the Roman history element, what kind of how do you guys learn how to do research?
We didn't really research anything for the Roman ages.
Okay, well, I mean, Roman ages are another topic as well too.
Basically, what we did for learning, we have this little booklet for all the stuff we have to learn, and we basically look through that for the information.
Okay, so you're using a physical source for it as well too.
Yep.
Cool. Do you find it easy? Do you find it difficult? What do you think of that?
I find it very easy.
Yeah? Okay.
It's much easier than actually researching it on Google and stuff.
Really? Okay. What is it that makes it easier?
It's that all the information's there and you don't really have to search for it. It's just go to the certain chapter where you're looking for stuff and just scroll through a couple pages.
That's so you guys are getting kind of an introduction to using textbooks as well, because that's essentially how textbooks work as well when you go to university later on, is that you read through the index, you find the word you're looking for, and then you go over to that page as well. So it's good to hear that you guys are learning that already in Sec 2. So Renaud, we won't continue for too much longer. We're running out of time. So tell me, is there something that you really want people to know about? We're on a podcast that people are going to be listening to and watching. What's something you want them to know?
Something I want them to know is that Plants vs. Zombies is a very good game.
Perfect. What is it that makes it a good game? Is it a coding thing or is it the graphics?
It's just a very cute looking game. It's very well designed and almost perfect balance.
Okay.
It has very good progression and the music is beautiful.
Obvious. I have that stuck in my. That's like elevator music in my head, to be honest. It has been since I was about your age as well. And when you say it's well balanced as well, because we talked about this at the beginning as well. What do you find makes that particular game so well balanced?
It's that like you only get plants after being a certain level, and you'll usually need it like at one point. Mm-hmm. And it's like all the plants, they're like very good. For example, the repeater, it's pretty much the price of two pea shooters, except it's better because it only takes one spawn instead of two.
Right. I do remember that actually. Well, okay, so it forces you to prioritize and kind of strategize how you're going to plant your garden for the level that you're at as well. Okay, so you heard it here first, folks. According to Renaud, Plants vs. Zombies is, one of the best games out there as well. It's very well balanced. The music is great, and the leveling system is excellent as well. So, Renaud, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for coming in. I was really happy to get the chance to talk to you. Like I said beforehand, I think you might be the youngest person that we've had on the podcast as well. So it's really great to be able to talk to people who are younger as well and who are kind of more on the end of starting high school than finishing it as well. So I wish you the very best with the rest of your Sec 2 year. I can't wait to chat with you again in the future about your science lessons. I hope math gets a little bit easier for you as well. And I'm always curious to hear about CCQ. So thank you everyone for tuning in to this episode of Youth Korner Podcast Jeunesse. I'm Emma. I've been with Renaud today, and we will see you in the next one.